Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Yamini and today I'll be comparing the Big 3 and Big 4 consulting firms. If you have just started your career in consulting, then it would be helpful to know who the big players are in this industry. So today's topic I'll be covering in 4 parts. First, who are the Big 3 and Big 4 consulting firms? Why are they known as Big 3 and Big 4 consulting firms? And what are the differences between them, as well as what are some of the similarities between them? So let's go. The big 3 companies are McKinsey, BCG, which is a short for Boston Consulting Group, and Bain. And these all 3 are popularly known as the MBBs. The big 4 companies are Deloitte, PwC, EY, and KPMG. And they all originated from accounting industry. Now, the name Big 3 comes from the fact that the MBBs are still the largest in terms of employees and revenue and the most prestigious strategy consulting firms. The Big 4 got their name from accounting industry. They were also known as the Big 4 accounting firms, who eventually expanded to other consulting services like management, technology, tax, legal, advisory, etc. In order to outline the differences between the Big 3 and Big 4 companies, I'll have to look at the nature of the work, the size of the companies, the salaries they pay, and the exit opportunities available to their employees. So let's start with the nature of work. MBBs usually do a high-level strategy consulting, which means they look at their clients' problems from a big picture lens and they come up with tailored solutions that would help their clients achieve their goals. The Big 4 also do something similar, but they are more focused on either technology implementation or very highly specific problems that are like accounting, tax, legal advice, or risk advice. Another difference is that MBB projects are pretty short, they just last a couple of months, whereas Big 4 projects can last for more than 6 months or more than a year sometimes, depending on how big the implementation or transformation is and how much support the client needs. The reason I talk about duration is if you have smaller projects and you are tied to a specific domain, you can learn faster and gain more knowledge in a short duration by understanding the industry and the different problems other companies in that industry face. Having said that, longer projects are not bad either. It's just that you will go deep dive into a specific client's problem and gain a lot of technical expertise in the specific technology that you're implementing. In terms of size, the Big 4 companies are significantly larger than the Big 3 companies in terms of the number of employees and revenue. Here are some charts to show you the comparisons. Now, in terms of salaries, it depends on a lot of factors like what level you are at, what location, what domain you specialize in, and how your performance has been. But in general, if we are to make some comparison, then if you look at levels.fyi, you can see that the Big 3 companies pay about 15 to 20% more than Big 4. Now let's look at some of the exit opportunities. Now, the MBBs actually enjoy a very good brand value in the market as compared to the Big 4. Again, it depends on what your niche is and what kind of projects you have been involved in. But overall, if you're looking for management or strategy kind of roles outside, then the MBB brand will help you a lot more than the Big 4. The alumni of M7, which are the 7 most prestigious MBA programs, have at some point worked for the MBB. However, if you wish to apply for roles that require some kind of technical knowledge or at least understanding of technology along with management experience, then the Big 4 brand will help you a lot more. Alright, so that was all about the differences between the Big 3 and Big 4 consulting firms. Now, whether you are in one of the Big 3 or Big 4, at the end of the day, you are still in the consulting industry, and there are a lot of similarities in terms of the skills that you would develop and the work-life balance that you would have. So let's focus on some of the fundamental transferable skills that you would build out of consulting, irrespective of which technology or domain you specialize in. Number 1, communication and people skills. In consulting, you will interact with a lot of teams internally in your firm as well as with client and the teams that they interact with. At some point in your career, you will directly start talking to leadership teams and C-suite executives. And soon you will also realize the different styles of communication needed to address different levels of audience. Also, building relationships is at the core of consulting. You are expected to build good relationships with your client, your peers, and the people above you. And this is crucial to your success as a consultant. All in all, you will learn how to work well with people and get things done. And this will be helpful if you are planning a career in business or management kind of roles or leadership roles. Number 2, management. Now, I have kept this open-ended because it includes project management, people management, and time management. So for example, very early on in your career, you will start learning how to plan projects, how to track them to completion, how to manage timelines, risks, dependencies, and also the resources on your project. As well as in some cases, you will get involved in the finances of how a project runs. Within, I think, 2 or 3 years in consulting, you would start also managing people under you. So you will have opportunities to mentor people, and you will learn a lot about yourself in the process of how good a coach you are. And the third and most important one is time management. Since there will be times you will be working on multiple projects at the same time, it is important that you be organized and structured in your approach, have a list of things going, and know how to prioritize your day on a daily basis so that you don't end up working long hours every day. Number 3, solving ambiguous problems. Most times your client is going to have a problem statement or an ask for you that is very vague. And trust me, with time, you're going to get comfortable dealing with ambiguity. There will be times when you can ask the right questions and clarify your assumptions to uncover some new pieces of information. But unfortunately, there will also be a lot of times when you just won't have complete information. And that could be because some team members recently left the firm who had in-depth knowledge about the current systems, and you are just left with a few folks who don't really understand their systems in detail, but you'll just have to work with them and figure out a way to recommend changes and make key decisions. And the last one is presentation and writing skills. During your time as a consultant, you are inevitably going to create a lot of PowerPoint slides. That would be for either presenting your strategy, your analysis, or reporting updates to leadership. It's all going to be in slide format. And with time, you're going to understand or get a sense of how to present information in less words and boil down the ocean into like core bullet points or ideas to get your point across or influence decisions. Additionally, if you are in a technical implementation kind of project, you will also be writing a lot of documents to specify requirements, design, testing or migration strategy, and some end user guides that the teams can use after you're gone. Alright, so that was all about the transferable skills that you would develop as a consultant outside of the technical and domain specific knowledge that you would gain. So now let's talk about work-life balance. Both the Big 3 and Big 4 consulting firms have pretty much the same kind of work-life balance. The workload hugely depends on which stage your client is in or what's the nature or the way the client works. But pretty much very often things will get stressful to meet tight deadlines. And there was also a time when consultants were expected to travel Monday to Thursday to their client site to work with their client in person. But that has changed a lot after the pandemic, where a lot of companies are open to remote work. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the comparison between the Big 3 and Big 4 firms, and I really hope that this helps you in making your career decisions. If you are a consultant right now, let me know what stage you are in and if any of this information resonated well with you. And I will see you next week with another video. Until then, take care and bye.